With that and the variety of terrain altogether, sections parceled out we will be discussing. East Africa on the left is one of them. We'll come back to in about 20 minutes and get a little closer. A little easier for you. We'll all be for us to have experienced over 52 years worth of effort. The waterways, though, we have created thanks to a water filtration system plants and animals necessitate. So with that said, shady areas are going to be the focal. Appreciate when we fully stop, include pinkback pelicans, lappets baseball cheese. It brings to mind we want it to simulate the wild. So they are together, pollinators and predators alike. We pass it that used to be abundant in North America. Keep that need on our left. Can pick and choose where they want to be at any given time of day. And at dawn and dusk, predators in the wild would be out, so they would pick the greener sections to be sitting in because both colors look identical to a predator with limited color vision, such as a lioness. Right under the shade trees, you're less likely to be seen as well as but so that the tree isn't completely gone, providing them shade too, we put fencing around the tree trunk to deter them from eating the entire thing. Lavender is a gorgeous color, and it's functional because in the desert it cools them off, deflecting heat. Inside each ear is what we call a false eye, so should a predator approach them, they simply stick those ears out. The dark makes a forward motion and looks like eyes forward of a predator. So with that and the dark mark going through the eye to camouflage it, it's quite an incredibly impressive. And it is our pleasure once we stop next to the Maasai giraffe. Now that greener section in the middle that accommodates both the Maasai giraffe and the southern white rhino has water flowing through it constantly because it's part of our water reclamation system. So not only is it a cooler venue, but it certainly gives us a chance to see them more clearly too, because any place that's cooler, they'll be. Speaking of cool, it is pretty cool to have a giraffe in the house because they are having their own and do a better job of it when they do. And the giraffe have 7 vertebrae in their neck like we do. But one is the length of your forearm if you're an adult, from wrist to elbow. Where giraffe are browsers or tree trimmers, and the tree needs pruning to be healthy, else can chew through. But when they do in the wild, that lets the lighter grasses grow in that sustain others naturally. It's a beautiful thing when you see them out here, southern white rhino. And of course on the right side, another lavender coat on the Somali wild ass that are critically endangered with only about 200 remaining. Now it's an interesting herd structure because some of the females are more influential than others. And like any business, somebody is the boss, so we get it. Somali wild ass. That are up there, we are working in Baja to learn more about how habitat loss is affecting their world. It is an amazing section, and it is all natural. So with that said, we'll leave the plains behind us. We'll head up to the top in the Africa forest and enjoy what comes our way. Now, when we get to the top, we are do that. Send the Squirrel Valley that's all agricultural. No better view of it can you get from anywhere in the park for sure, and we hope it never ever changes. Coming towards the water hole, about 12 o'clock ahead of us on the left, one of our woodland-dwelling roan antelope makes an appearance. But usually they don't. They're always way down at the bottom, hidden from view. And as he looks around, checking the scene out, with the lengthiest ears, woodland dwellers need better hearing than eyesight. Those lengthy ears speak volumes. Listening to our behind us on the right, one of the rust make an appearance with their orange coat. But if not, know that orange and green look identical to a predator with limited color vision, as previously mentioned. This young sapling out there seems to be an attractive spot for one of our in the grassy hills, verifying that they make shortcuts to their routine. But they do have a routine, and at 6 a.m., vertical stripes throughout the middle, but only about 3,000 remain because of urbanization. So with that, we keep bachelor herds in existence, because then when the alpha male's established, he meets the ladies that are elsewhere. We know who sired whom properly. With the southwest tug around us that we live in, basically this day and more, to our delight, will always be here for the next generation to appreciate home. Paramount to our successes, knowing what types of vegetation to put in. They eat only the shoots of the eucalyptus and are very picky, so we got to have 26 different varieties for them. Some of our Cape buffalo, their offspring are in here. They're hard to see, and they know exactly where to sit to make it difficult. Ever come back. That said, the mustachioed horns are impenetrable, because in part, the honeycomb shape inside each makes it really durable. Leaving the Cape buffalo and cruising around the corner to others that are clearly visible to us all is a true pleasure to try and find. So let's complete this zebra look at. Yeah. Wide rear end stripes. Nice identification. Each one having a unique pattern back there. But as for others, I think way up at the top past the cluster of palm trees could be the white ones with the red neck, the scimitar horned oryx, a species we've returned to the outskirts of the Sahara. But you have some athletes here on our left in South Africa. The larger 10 antelope weigh in at about it's a good 1,100 pounds, and they can jump up 8 feet. They're pretty remarkable. Cattle in the house. Their horns measure 6 foot from tip to tip, which is the average width of this vehicle. And if you own them, it's like having a fancy car, but they never eat their status. He said, the future holds promise when you get the next buyer, the next generation. We missed it. Morning. So as our care specialists tend to the collection and check on them every day, each and every one, significantly, is a common giraffe. And being that the care specialists do hang some of the branches closer to us so that maybe they'll be enticed to come over here and have a leaf or two, give us the advantage. The palm trees have no advantage, other than they grow despite the big palm tree. So with that said, poaching still exists for rhinos. Travels today on the roads throughout the park and home.